Hello, Gold here, and today we're going to look at how to obtain the TNT Dome Key, or TNT Dome 2 Key. Inside this dome there's some information or some relics that have to do with aliens once again, and aliens seem to be a pretty big theme in Fallout, at least through the previous Fallout games, and hopefully they'll expand on this in this game here. It's not something that we get by going to just one location, but keep in mind this is not the complete storyline. There's a really interesting storyline behind this, so I recommend running through the storyline. But as you start participating in this storyline, it's going to be a little difficult to locate where some of these keys are. You basically just have to run across them if you don't already know where they're at. So that's what we're going to look at in this video, is just the location of what we need to access the TNT Dome 2. So let's get started. We're going to start off right here on the map. It's an unmarked location, but it's one you may have seen before, and there's usually going to be a few ghouls around here that you're going to have to take out, but nothing major. Well, once you get here to this little pond, you're just going to jump into the middle of the pond and you'll see this broken safe. And inside this broken safe we'll find a couple of items, one of them being the alien blaster. Now the fact that we find the alien blaster along with the rusty key here, that ought to tell us that these two sort of go hand in hand, and they actually do. So next we're going to travel over to somewhere we've been 100 times probably in the game, and that's Freddy Fear's House of Scares. And we're going to come here, and there will be some ghouls to take out and probably a legendary to get some loot off of. But once you take care of those, then you're just going to want to make your way to the roof. Whichever way you need. On the back side there's a set of stairs, or you can just jet back up there, or marsupial will help you get up here. So once you get to the top, you're going to see this red door over here. Right? And there's the stairs to the right, and there will be a note at the bottom of the red door, and this goes along with the storyline, so make sure you read these notes and check out the storyline as we're doing it. But now we can use the rusted key to unlock this door. Now inside here there's a lot of good loot. I'm a scrapper in here, so I like to pick up all this loot, and there's a lot of good stuff here, including that Mr. Handy model we saw, and a lot of other good components. But if you don't want these, just look at the desk and you'll see at the bottom it's not really that noticeable, so you have to know it's here, and you'll see the stolen terminal passcode holotape. So let's get that. Now we're going to head back to Morgantown, somewhere you're probably pretty familiar with. We go here quite a bit on some of the missions in the past, some of the quests that we do. So Morgantown, once you get into Morgantown, you're going to want to head this way, and you're just basically going to keep heading into town in the southerly direction. And we're going to go up underneath this underpass or overpass right here. We're just going to jump through this broken wall and cut across the street over here. And as we get across the street, now be aware there will be a lot of ghouls here to take out. We're going to find these stairs. We're going to start to go up them. Right. Once we go up these stairs to the second level right here, to the left is where we want to go. We don't want to go all the way up. To the left, and we want to go in this apartment building. There will be ghouls in here too. So upon taking these out, then we're going to look for the stairwell. Some decent loot in here if you want to loot it. So just come on around this way, and you'll see a stairway, and there's another ghoul, but we got him. So let's just go on up the stairway right here. And we're going to keep going up. We're going to find the next stairway that takes us to the top floor here. Now up here in this apartment, we're going to look to the right, and we'll see a computer. And on this computer is the next thing we need. Read these messages. It really reads into the storyline pretty well if you hadn't read them already. But I'm just going to write this access code to a holotape right here. And there we go. Access code written. Now we're going to make our way over to somewhere we've been before, and that's Pleasant Valley Cabins. Now Pleasant Valley Cabins, in case you hadn't been here before, be careful this first house that we go into. This is where we need to go. There'll be several machine gun turrets in here that if you don't know they're there, they'll catch you off guard when you first walk in. As you can see, there's one up there, or was, and back behind me, there's another one right there. And there's also a rare item here that was part of my rare item series. It was back on that counter, but we're not looking for that right now. Another machine gun turret right there. So you do have to be careful of these and the ghouls that are in here. So come to this terminal, and on this terminal you're going to generate a one-time pass key or one-time key, and make sure to write this down or memorize it, because it does not write to a holotape or something. You're going to have to input this key manually below the stairs, as we're going to see here, or below the porch. So let's go out and go onto the back porch and jump off this thing. We're going to cut right underneath the porch. If you didn't know this was here already, you probably wouldn't know it was here. So let's look, and there's a keypad. And this is where we enter that one-time key code that we just got from the terminal upstairs. Let's enter it in here. And believe it or not, our quest is almost done. Alright, so now if we look in this safe right beside it, we're going to find the TNT Dome Key 2. So now, let's go put this key to use. And next we're going to go here to Black Mountain Ordnance Works. Alright, so we fast travel there, and we're going to want to go south on the road that we see right beside it, 81, Highway 81. So we're going to port in right about here, generally port in above it on the north side. So I'm going to head south. I'm going to follow this road down, but we're going to have to get off the road after we get past this little registration area here. To the left, you can't really see it, but to the left, look up this way, and you'll keep heading sort of southeast here, and you're going to find the TNT Dome 2. So let's look around. We're right here. This is exactly where we're at, and we're almost there. So let's just keep going this way, and we can see it in front of us now, barely. Let's head on over this way. We're going to head around this edge, and once we get around this edge right here, we see it. And there's the TNT Dome 2. So we're going to unlock this, and apparently there's a little bit of scrap in here, not a ton, but you do find rounds for the alien blaster over to the right on the table over there. There are some things that are worth scrapping, some that are worth selling. But the main thing about this is just part of the Fallout lore. It's reintroducing us again to aliens. So let's get all this stuff up here. I'm going to scrap all this. Now there's an analysis here that tells us that this body that we see over there is potentially of alien origin. So this is pretty interesting. I wonder where Bethesda may end up going with this now that they've really revitalized Fallout 76 with the Wastelanders edition, and with the addition of the Brotherhood of Steel. A lot of people are coming back to the game, and it's good to see that. So we look around in here, and there, there's a lot of useful items. Nothing major. Just some stuff like this, some helpful items. Hazmat suits, you can scrap those and get some lead out of them, but they do weigh, I think, 3 or 5 pounds each, 3 to 5 pounds each, so I'm not going to pick them up. I'm already almost over encumbered. So I'm just going to grab this other junk, though. Make my way around here, and right here is another supposedly rare item, the radio jammer. Has no real purpose, but at one point this was sort of hard to find, but now I found 5 locations that it spawns at every day. So I can get 5 of these a day if I wanted to. I'm getting all this stuff because I'm going to scrap that and make me some bullets in a little while. And right there, if we see that, let's come on around back here. This should look familiar to you Fallout players from the past. Remember Fallout 4? Look right here, the cryogenic tubes. Looks very, very similar. Very, very similar to the tube that we woke up in Fallout 4. Not identical, but very similar. And over here is where we see some things. We don't get a ton of information over here, but we do see this skeleton that looks like it's been dissected, because when we look at it, we'll see that on one leg it still has muscle tissue. On one side of it, it still has muscle tissue, but on the other side it's all basically bones. And as we look at it, it looks humanoid. It looks humanoid. But You know, there's really no indicator here until we get over here and we see these X-rays. Apparently, they have been doing experimentation on this here fella. They've been, there's no telling what they were doing. But just another interesting section, another little part of the game that was not part of the main storyline quest. And if you really didn't explore the wasteland really well, then this might be an area you never even visited. So hopefully it'll help somebody out, help them find these keys, help them make it through the quest. And make sure to read the storyline if you're going to do it, because the storyline is fairly interesting. It's sort of curious as to why, you know, we had to go through so much trouble to get these keys. But the story tells it all. So thanks a lot for watching. I hope the video was informative. And for now, Gold out.